Local 4 News starts now with a forewarned weather alert.
You've seen the rain, heard the rumbles of thunder for hours now. Exact Track 40 radar showing there is much more to come tonight.
Once the sun sets, the storms could pick up in severity, but flooding may end up being the biggest problem once this is all said and done. Thanks so much for being with us for this stormy Wednesday. I'm Ty Steele.
I'm Karen Drew in for Kimberly Gill. She is on assignment tonight. DTE preparing for power outages from high winds. And places prone to flooding will be on alert these next few hours as those storms start rolling through.
Kim Adams, of course, keeping a close eye on all of this for us. Kim, what can you tell us?
Well, we're getting a break right now with much of southeast lower Michigan drying out for the moment. There's still a lot of water on the roads, though, and once that sun sets, it's tough to see the water, especially in the outer lanes on the freeway. That's not going anywhere anytime soon. We have a warm front that's going to cross the Ohio border around 8 o'clock tonight. The question is, how far north is it going to go? At this point, it looks like it's going to stay south of I-94, which means it is in this area right here. Let me circle it for you so you can get a better idea. It's this area right here where we're expecting the severe storms. Doesn't mean they can't come north of that, but this is the bullseye right there that we're expecting that warm front to create some strong, possibly even severe storms. But the rest of Metro Detroit, not out of the woods, but heavy rain appears to be the biggest threat until about 2 o'clock in the morning. Where is that warm front? Well, we can tell exactly where it is just by looking at our regional temperatures. It is 80 degrees in Indianapolis and 79 in Columbus. So they're in what's called the warm sector. The warm front is still to our south, hasn't quite reached that border yet. It will do so in about 2 hours. So after 8 o'clock is when we do expect the strongest of those thunderstorms. Speaking of strong to severe weather, I want to check really quickly here the national radar, because down to our south, if you watch us tonight at 11 o'clock, you're going to see a lot of damage from the southern part of the country. They are going to experience and have been experiencing anywhere from tornadoes to hail in Oklahoma and parts of the mid-Mississippi River Valley, also the Ohio Valley. They are at a high risk for tornadoes EF3 and greater. So we're going to talk more about that coming up. Plus, we'll take a look at opening day forecasts, see if this is going to affect any of that coming up.
Live weather coverage. Kim will be working here with the whole team this evening, providing you live weather coverage. So make sure to stay tuned online, on air, and on Local 4+. Okay, so within the past couple of hours, President Trump announced and then signed those sweeping tariffs on virtually all imports. That includes 25% on all imported automobiles and what the White House is calling reciprocal tariffs against America's trade partners, and that list is long. A base tariff of 10% will be imposed, but for some countries it could go as high as 49%, depending on, as President Trump says, what they've been charging us. President Trump saying the goal is to bring manufacturing back to the United States. And joining me right now is Charles Klein. He is a station manager over at OEC Group. I know you're from Livonia particularly, and we appreciate you joining us. You know, you meet with companies as they start to deal with all of their manufacturing and dealing with the navigation in terms of all of this. And now these tariffs come in, and this is a big change, and it's a change quickly because they're being imposed here at midnight. You know, talk to us a little bit about what is going on right now.
Yeah, so right now, what companies like ours and customers who import are trying to figure out on how all these numbers affect the goods that they're imported, how much it's going to cost them, and how much it's going to affect the cost to their customers. As we saw today, it was a broad range of numbers. From every single country. So anybody who is importing an item seems to be affected. And
is it possible to give some kind of timeline on that? I mean, this is coming in now, and I mean, what are we going to see?
So we saw, I mean, from the speech earlier, it says a lot of this is going to be imposed at midnight.
Right.
So I think it's hard to see how this is going to affect prices in the long term. We'll see which different industries, are they going to raise their prices now, or are they going to hold off on some of their lower cost inventory?
I wanted to share this quote from Debbie Dingle, because this just came out in just the past hour. She says, "I am concerned about the chaotic and immediate implementation of these wide-reaching tariffs. Changes don't happen overnight, and companies need stability and time to make adjustments." So if the ultimate goal is to have these companies bring manufacturing jobs back into the U.S., what does this look like in terms of, you know, her concern there is that it's going quite fast?
So as we can see, there's going to be immediate effects to companies, immediate effects at midnights, and their costs are going to go up for their imported goods. We can see how this affects the auto industry in our area. A lot of automobiles are manufactured from components in the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, but also they contain parts from all over the world.
Right.
So as we saw earlier, every single country has a tariff or imported tariff on it. So we'll see how that affects makes, models, how auto manufacturers are going to maybe adjust their supply chain.
And short term, we'll see Wall Street tomorrow.
Correct. And
right?
We'll see how that affects
get
the
ready for
markets
that.
as well.
We appreciate your time and your insight.
Absolutely.
Charles Klein from OEC Group. We appreciate it. We'll send it over to you, Ty.
Well, we've been following the saga of a couple from Michigan who've been detained in Mexico. Paul and Christy Aquillo are accused of fraud involving a Cancun timeshare, and they've been held in prison since March 4th. Today, Congressman Tom Barrett flew down there to see if he can resolve the situation. Will Jones has an update on how that's been going today so far. Will, what can you tell us?
Ty, Congressman Tom Barrett is on the ground in Mexico right now. We've been working with his team to set up an interview today, but he's been very busy trying to help this couple. Take a look at the pictures that we just received. Congressman Barrett meeting with Paul and Christy Aquillo inside of a maximum security prison in Mexico. He met with them for about an hour. He says the couple is scared, frustrated, and struggling to find hope. The Michigan couple has been in prison on fraud allegations that stem from a timeshare agreement. Mexican officials allege the couple's credit card company canceled multiple transactions in 2022, totaling more than $116,000. The couple's children thank Barrett for his support, saying in a statement today, through 4 straight weeks of fear and uncertainty, Representative Barrett's commitment to bringing our parents home safely provided us with hope and reassurance. He was the first local representative to simply make a phone call to our family and listen to our horrific situation and offer his assistance. Following his meeting with the couple, Barrett met with the president of the local Supreme Court there, trying to find relief for this couple. He says he hopes to share details with the public very soon to end this family's nightmare. We are live tonight. Will Jones, Local 4.
All right, Will, thanks for following that.
All right, now to a sudden change catching some schools off guard. They have been told tens of millions of dollars that they thought that they were getting from the American Rescue Plan and the coronavirus relief appropriations is being pulled back. Pamela Osborne has been speaking with education leaders on what effect that this might have and also how they're dealing with this. This is some stressful situations because they depended on these dollars, Pam.
They certainly did. They made their budgets around them. I spoke with the deputy superintendent here at River Rouge Schools. She says, as crazy as it sounds, she feels like their district is one of the lucky ones. Their project only totaled $28,000. Still, that's a lot of money to be out and that they're actively figuring out how to make up now.
It's very shocking that money that has been allocated can just go away like that.
Deputy Superintendent Elisa Berry Brown tells us they had everything all lined up. The U.S. Department of Education had pre-approved their plans to upgrade the HVAC system in one of their K-8 buildings at the cost of $28,000.
River Rouge has really poor quality, air quality. We wanted to make sure that we were getting a HVAC system to ensure that our students had the proper ventilation.
They had until March of 2026 to submit for reimbursement from the Department of Education until they didn't. Last Friday, Education Secretary Linda McMahon sent this letter after hours informing districts across the country that the deadline to submit was that same day.
It was very off-putting.
Tiffany Tilley is the co-vice president on Michigan State Board of Education.
One of the things that we found during COVID is that ventilation was a huge issue.
27 districts throughout the state that had updates pre-approved for federal reimbursement are now at a loss in the tune of millions. Many of them have already started the work or, like River Rouge, have entered into contracts.
I believe this is the first of many budget cuts.
Tilley says it's a matter of comfort and protecting kids with medical conditions like asthma.
I say that this is a very nonpartisan issue. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on. Children deserve to have safe environments to learn in. And infrastructure plays a big part on that safety.
7 of the districts impacted by this reversal from the education department are right here in Southeast Michigan. I reached out to all of them over the past couple of days, and I heard back late this evening from Pontiac schools. Their superintendent, Dr. Kimberly Leverett, tells us they were expecting $3.3 million that they already paid to be reimbursed to them. Take a look at what else she said in a statement to us tonight. She said the lack of warning of this change is unduly distressing for all involved and has caused significant financial strain and concern over necessities and critical resources that we were assured had been approved. State education leaders asking the education department to continue forward with its commitment that it made to all of these schools. Reporting live in River Rouge, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
Yeah, you're feeling for those teachers and those students, that's for sure. All right, Pamela, thank you. Appreciate it.
Efforts continue in northern Michigan tonight to restore power to tens of thousands of homes and businesses in the aftermath of that devastating ice storm.
Progress has been really slow as there are a lot of trees down, so it may be days before things start getting back to normal.
As you might expect, people are taking to social media to show others what it's like where they live. Erica Erickson's tracking some of the videos, getting lots of views on TikTok. We're seeing some pretty incredible stuff, Erica.
Yeah, that's right. We're seeing some funny, some scary experiences across social media, from East Jordan to Charlevoix, down through Elmira, across the eastern part of the Lower Peninsula, up to the UP. Social media is flooded with videos and photos of ice-covered trees, collapsed power lines, and communities just blanketed in sheets of ice. Some sharing videos of trees just buckling under the weight of the ice, cracking and falling onto roadways and power lines, and almost hitting a home.
I just don't want these trees to fall on your truck.
This is wild, Dad. You should see this.
Even for the seasoned northern Michiganders, this.
I've never seen anything like this.
Folks frozen over, trapped in the tundra, some for days.
Oh my God.
Seen sharing photos and videos all over social media. From Traverse City to Mackinac to Gaylord to Petoskey. Someone named Ella posting this video of a line of traffic just to get gas. Others showing streets and trees iced over, snapping, trying to give us a little perspective.
It's heartbreaking.
Here in Metro Detroit.
Just picture this video and then that's like the entire county.
But of course, the tip of the mitten is having a sense of humor.
Anyone in need of a hairbrush?
While others share some scary scenes.
Please don't fall in the house or next to it. Oh.
Trees on power lines, even a radio tower toppled to the ground. 106 KHQ in Petoskey posting photos still off the air for several days now.
Fingers crossed for some good news for residents of northern Michigan, and maybe some good news as well for KHQ listeners. We could be having music back very, very soon.
But the radio team finding a way to make light of it and sending their support to others going through this.
A bunch of different warming centers across northern Michigan that you can go to.
And those working in it to restore power.
If you see any of the linemen out, just tell them thank you. Buy them lunch if they're standing in line. Yesterday I did.
Aw, there's a lot of gratitude up there for all the work being done to help those impacted and to stay safe and recover. I mean, just look at that. We spoke to those who up there and they say they need it, and we spoke to the folks at 106 KHQ. They say they hope to be back on the air tomorrow afternoon at the earliest. They just say, keep the help coming. We're going to need it for a while. Reporting live in the studio, Erica Erickson, back to you.
Thank you, Erica. Wayne County's health director stepping down. Dr. Abdul Al-Said is stepping down tomorrow. He spent the past 2 years leading the Department of Health, Human and Veteran Services and serving as the county's health officer. Press release from the county says he's stepping away as he considers, quote, a future opportunity in Michigan. You may remember, back in 2018, Al-Sayed ran for governor, finishing second in the Democratic primary to Gretchen Whitmer. As for the Wayne County Health Department, it will be run on an interim basis by Al-Sayed's current chief of staff, that is Keneal Johnson.